Scotland had won her freedom at Bannockburn, but freedom, once gained, must be guarded. Barely 18 years later, the peace Robert the Bruce fought for would be shattered by ambition, betrayal, and the return of an old enemy. In 1329, King Robert the Bruce died, leaving the crown to his young son, David II, barely 5 years old. Scotland's throne was vulnerable, and waiting in the shadows was Edward Balliol, son of the deposed King John Balliol, a man desperate to reclaim his father's crown. Backed by the power of England and supported by King Edward III, Balliol gathered a small but deadly force of seasoned English knights and archers. They landed in Fife in the summer of 1332, striking while Scotland was divided and unprepared. The stage was set for a new and bloodier conflict, the Second War of Scottish Independence. Near Perth, at a place called Dupplin Moor, the armies met under the cover of night. On one side stood the supporters of young David II, thousands of Scots under the banner of loyalty to Bruce's line. On the other, Balliol's English-backed invaders, outnumbered but disciplined, hardened by war. At dawn, the Scots charged downhill in waves, confident in their numbers. But Balliol's men had learned from Bannockburn. They held their ground behind deadly lines of archers. The English longbows unleashed a storm of arrows, cutting through the Scottish ranks before they could close. Those who reached the enemy were trapped between the English lines and slaughtered in the crush of bodies. By sunrise, the field was soaked with blood, thousands of Scots lay dead, and Balliol stood victorious. The dream of unity that Robert the Bruce had built seemed to crumble in a single night. Dupplin Moor marked more than just a defeat. It was the beginning of years of turmoil. Balliol was crowned King of Scots, but he ruled only with English swords at his back. The people were divided, some loyal to David II, others resigned to Balliol's claim, and once again England's shadow fell heavy across Scotland. Yet from the chaos, resistance would rise again, for though Scotland stumbled, she never surrendered. Every defeat only hardened her will to fight, to endure, and to remain free. If you stand with the spirit of Scotland through victory and loss alike, drop a comment and follow for the next chapter of her fight for freedom.